visible column. There we go. So I'm going to select the toolpaths. Up here in the word that says properties is a little tiny box with a plus sign on it. I'm going to open that up.
Alright, so I have machine group, I have 3 of them.
Let's see what you got. Oh, that's okay. But just like click on the blue, maybe
Properties?
click on that blue one right there on the left. Up and over, up, down. Yeah,
Okay.
click on that right there. Click, left click, and delete. There you go. Click on the next one up. Yeah, click that, delete. There you go. Now open up the plus sign on properties. See where it says stock setup?
Okay.
See where it says stock setup? Yeah, up here it says property stock setup. Click on stock setup. Click on stock setup. There we go. Yep, click on stock setup. You guys are there. Let me catch up. Stock setup. Now, I like to not display it, but what I'll do is down here at the bottom in the middle, it says select corners. Left click and select corners, and if you choose opposite diagonals top and bottom, doesn't matter which, but you're going to be, I'm going to click on the bottom one and then the top one. Now the square it's drawing is down below. You have to keep an eye on where you're going though. So I clicked on the bottom and I'm going to click on the top.
Drew, can you give me one more?
So we go stock setup. Let's turn this on just so we can see it. I'm going to click on display. Turn on display here on the left. Select corners. I have to tip my part over so I can see it. I'm going to click on the bottom diagonal and the top diagonal. And then I'm going to select OK.
Mine is selecting only the top one. Oh, okay, hold on. That just gave me something else.
And when you're done, what you should see is a red superimposed over your wireframe that you drew for the stock. You get like this red and blue.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the stock representation. So when we run verify, this is where your computer is going to slow down at home. If you're running at home, when we do verify, that's where it could run into some problems where you're going to spend some time letting it crunch through the numbers. Typically, I'll turn off the display, and to do that, we go to stock setup.
What happens if it just like does the group? Did that?
Select first corner. So select first corner. Okay, click,
Click.
and then come down here and click this one here.
Okay, so select corner.
Select corners.
Okay, can you do it real quick?
Sure. So we're just going to click on a corner, and then we're going to click on that was an upper corner here. So we're going to go to the lower corner, diagonally across, and I'm going to click on display so we can see where it's going to show up. We'll come back and turn this off in a minute. Click OK. See how it has that red and blue?
Yes.
So that's good. We're going to go back to toolpath, stock setup, and turn off the display, and OK. I usually turn off the stock.
How do you delete it?
Okay, so selecting the corners and defining the stock, when we go to turn this off. Once we have some toolpaths over here, we can select all of our toolpaths. Now backplot plot here will just show us the back plot. We can either have it just show us some lines where the tools go, or we can have it like a finger shading out the area, like if you're drawing the sand at the beach, a trail. Or the next button is, if you hold the mouse still, it'll highlight it'll give you the label, what that icon is for a minute. It says verify. If you want to use verify, you have to define the stop like we just did. That way you can select all those tool paths, click on verify, a second window will open up, and you'll see a solid model, if you will, representation of your part and the tools going through and removing material. Okay, we'll do that in a second. Let's see. Okay, so we got our stop. Let me see where we left off. We've got bolt circle and everything. Okay. Now, we're getting real close to writing some tool paths, but we're going to need a little bit of geometry, extra geometry, to make it a little smoother. So I'm going to go back to my levels. This is going to be operation 1. So I'm going to call it 100 and op 1 tool path. I'm going to go in my levels column. I'm going to turn off the stop. I don't want to see stop. I do want to see the wireframe. When it's straight up on you looking at like this, I'm going to kick it over just a little bit so I can differentiate between the top and the bottom. You have a choice at this point. Do you want to create a square by the old way, or I'll show you, this is another way of creating some lines if there's something already there. We're going to trace over the top of it. So we have this. If you go to wireframe, line, we're going to draw a straight line between endpoints. And let me stop for a second. Make sure level 100 is active. Everything we draw is going to be on level 100. We're going to use level 1 to guide us. So that's why it's visible. So wireframe, line endpoints. What's it say? Specify the first endpoint. Watch this. So I'm going to wait till my mouse clicks on that corner. Here's my line. Click to that corner. I'm going to start a new one. Click to that corner. Start a new one. See what I'm doing there? And then, if I click OK to end the operation and turn off level 1, look what's left. I used the geometry from the first level to guide me to basically reproduce it on level 100, because this is going to drive my tool.
Click the green button, right?
After you go around the box.
Okay.
And then on your level page, turn everything off at level 100, and you should have just a square. Okay?
Oh no.
Okay. I think we can start with the tool paths now. Now what's going to happen, see, when we create a tool path, if we had...
Mine didn't work, mine only gave me 2 lines.
Mine gave me the top line and the back line and the front line.
So wireframe.
Yeah, mine.
Oh, look at that. Okay, so do this. Zoom out, window everything, and delete. We'll start over.
So wireframe. Right here.
The top. Is this the top or is this the top? Extra bit is because when we do a tool path, if you try to isolate the entities on a single chain, it'll be a lot cleaner to define the tool path. What happens is, if we have these vertical connectors to if the top of it's our tool path, and you have a vertical connector, what the computer does, it goes, okay, I'm cutting down this line, and then it sees a branch. It sees a fork in the road, and it doesn't know which way to go.
So it could go down.
Theoretically. And so it stops and asks you which way to go. And so because we know that ahead of time, what we're going to do is clean it up a little bit and only have the entities representing the tool path, hence the op1
Question.
tool path.
What happened if we got it wrong when we did that and we did the bottom there? With the tool,
You have an opportunity to fix it when we define the tool path by choosing where is the top of the part and how deep are we going. So we theoretically could choose the bottom too, also. Okay. Okay. Yeah, come in early throughout the week. Well, no. In the afternoons, I could help you, Ken.
I will come in early tomorrow.
Thursday.
I don't know how long you take your lunch.
Yeah, if you can come in early on Thursday and Friday for sure. Okay.
those are the days you're free pretty much?
I have an. So let's put a toolpath on here. I'm gonna come up to the top and click on toolpath. And before I go too far, I'm on the left-hand side down over here. I'm gonna check something real quick. I'm gonna check my planes. Everything is still top, so we're all good. I'm gonna activate toolpath so I can see what happens over here. And I've clicked toolpath at the top. What do we want to do? When the very first thing you do, typically, you don't have to. There's no really written, there might be reasons for doing something or not, but typically, what's the first toolpath you see happening?
Face?
Yeah. And if you notice, we've got a face right here. I'm going to click on face. And by default, this pops up, this first little, if you hold your mouse and let it sit there for a minute, it pops up and says chain. Chain, that's where it's connecting everything. If you, as long as the lines are touching each other, it'll chain them all together. Now, look what it says. Select an entity to start a new chain. Now, this is where it gets a little, let me click a couple things and then I'll do it over, we'll do it together. Let me just do it first for you. If I click here, now this line lights up when my mouse gets over it. Visualize, if you will, the midpoint's about here. If I click here, notice which way the arrow's pointing. This is going to show me the path the tool takes around the part. My question to you is, climb cut or conventional cut, if it was going around the perimeter? Think about it.
It's not convenient, it's line.
But from right there, that would be.
See the arrow? So envision a tool going around this direction, around the outside of your part.
That would be conventional.
That'd be conventional. So,
I thought conventional was the right. Counterclockwise.
that would be climb.
Oh.
Counterclockwise is conventional, yeah. So let me do it again. So where'd it go? Basically what I'm showing you is that we're back in where I was a minute ago. If you try to envision which way do you want the tool to go around the part. If I click on this side of the halfway line, now the arrow points clockwise. Okay, so that'll help you when you, typically we always do climb cuts on the machine. Why?
better for the,
Clean.
Better what?
for your
It
cut,
is better. What is it?
for your cut?
What about the cut?
Well, it's better for the tool wear.
Maybe, but what's it more better for?
Your surface?
Yeah, what?
Your surface? Your part surface?
Finish.
Finish, okay.
Finish. Yeah. Makes a nicer finish. Climb cut makes a nicer finish. And we don't have backlash to worry about, technically.
Cause it's going with it.
Well, because of the ball screws on the mechanism underneath the table. You have Acme threads on a manual, and so you have some backlash between the gears when you change direction. Ball screws, you on a really small level, subatomic Ant-Man type thing, maybe a little bit of backlash, but for all intents and purposes, a ball screw doesn't have any backlash. And therefore, it's a lot more rigid, so we can climb cut. Okay, so go ahead and you have level 4 only, level 100 only active. Light up your toolpath column over here by selecting the bottom button here. You're going to select on toolpaths and face.
So level 100 only, you don't know what you want to look at, right?
Yep.
Then you go to, toolpath, face.
And it's going to be automatically in a chain mode.
What's the chain next to it?
Well, hold your mouse key, it says partial.
Oh, okay.
That means we're just gonna, just what it
Partial
says,
one,
it's not gonna be the whole chain, it's just gonna be a partial.
Okay.
And there's different ways of selecting stuff. Lots of buttons for later on.
Okay.
So,
Roger.
from this point, I'm gonna click on this section, this little part of the line here, and it's gonna go clockwise because of the relationship to the midpoint and where I'm clicking. See that?
Alright.
Now I'm gonna click OK at the bottom left-hand corner.
All my corners didn't highlight, is that a reason?
Let's see what you got. So you can see up here at the top, facing has a little bit of a shading. That's what kind of operation we're doing. If the next one down says tool, click on the word tool. And bottom right hand corner, this is a good spot to put some notes in for whoever runs the program. Just something face to clean. What does face to clean mean?
Just clean cut, just a bypass
Title.
or over, or I don't know. how
The
to-
title.
Face, man.
What's it indicating? What's it indicate if I say face to clean?
Face until clean.
Yeah. What it is trying to indicate is that minimal material removal.
Right, okay,
Just face to clean,
just a face,
right? Just a little off the top.
just a little, exactly.
It's 2:30. You guys want to keep going a little bit, or
Yeah, I got time.
okay? So face to clean.